Wouldn't it be nice if one key opened all the locks you had? Like this one,
and this one, and this one, and this one,
and even this big old one. All with the same key. Let's start off by going through my orphaned lock stash, and all these I found them on the side of the road. They're all scuffed up, and generally people will put them on their trailers, and they won't want to lock them, so they'll just hang them on their trailers like that, and they'll fall off. So most of the time I find them, they're actually unlocked. But that does not matter. All you need is a key that fits them, and I have this key right here that fits most Master, Brinks. They all use the same key, and so it fits it, and we'll even lock it up. So, and this is just a lamination, a bunch of laminated pieces of metal with rivets going all the way through. So we'll just grind off the bottom of those rivets and go from there. Let's pry off this decorative band. Now we need a sharp screwdriver or something like that. And what we're going to do is just going to pry off the bottom lamination. So I have this little chisel type thing, and I'll just set it right in there. Work it around. Don't pull off one area all at once because you'll deform the bottom plate, and we got to reuse it. There's going to be a spring under here, and that's what actually pops the lock up, and it's going to be right under this bottom plate. There we go. It's a big spring, so there it is. No big deal, really not. And if you did lose it, it wouldn't be the end of the world. You could still pull it off. But there's a bottom plate. Here's our lock cylinder. And now we're just left with the lock that's locked. But if we just, all it does is this twists this little cam and just unlocks it. So we can actually just jam a screwdriver in there and unlock our lock now. Lock it right back up. So the rest of the lock is completely functioning. We've just taken out the lock cylinder. So now we can take the lock cylinder and play with that. So now is where it gets a little bit tricky, and that is, you have your inside cylinder. There's two pieces. It's brass and it's more copper color, so this brass piece in the inside is this, and the key slides right into there, and it pushes up on little, they're called tumblers, but there'll be 4 or so, and then on top of that there's another set of tumblers. And on top of that is a little spring pushing down on the whole assembly, and that spring area where those springs are on the top of the tumblers are right in here. And so this one's going to have 4. I can actually see 4 little dimples. So what I'm going to do is cut off the very top right here, and some locks actually have a little slide mechanism. You slide off and you just pull them right out. But we're going to grind away the top until we open up a hole. So I ground down just a little bit until I could see a defined area of where each one was. And then I'm just taking a 3/32 drill bit, and I'm just by hand, I'm just finishing breaking through. I messed up the top just a little bit, but that doesn't matter. So there's our spring, and behind that it's going to be followed by, well, can't have any sort of ridge up here. So I'm just kind of reaming it around. Followed by my top tumbler. Which will have square ends. Sometimes I'll have a little point on them. Just a teeny little point. But the key one, the one that rides on the key, will have a pronounced point to ride up and down on the key. There you go. It'll have a nice rounded point that actually slides up and down on the key, and the other end's flat. All the tumblers out, and you can see the lock cylinder now spins freely because there's no tumblers locking it. This is the side you put the key in, and this is the inside, but we need to pound this out of there. And they just crimp over just a little piece, usually on each side, and then there's a groove in this brass colored piece in the middle. But we can usually bypass that just by, I'll just line up the groove in an area that I think will slide out easy. And I'm just supporting in the vise just by the copper colored housing. And I'll just tap that just like that right past not damaging it, and it'll actually re-crimp, but we'll just set that aside. We got our lock cylinder. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the tumblers that have the very rounded end. The other ones are not key tumblers. They got a little point on them, and those go down in. So we'll get those 4, and they'll be different lengths, and that's to match the dents and the little bumps on the key. I've got the key in and all the tumblers, and every time you pull the key out, because sometimes the tumblers will jump, put your thumb over it. But all the tumblers are in, and then when you put the key back in, move it, or put your thumb over it. You can see that some stick up, some are barely below the surface. But what I've done is I've moved them around to correspond a little bit better with these. So they got, the idea is you want all of them sticking up or flush, but that's good. One of them is barely, well, it might not even be sticking down. It's just perfectly flush. But we're going to take it from here, and if I didn't like where they were, I just move them around. If one's sitting too far down, this trick won't work, and just leave that tumbler, you know, just leave the very first one completely out with the rest of them. But that'll make sense. Want them all sticking up. I'm not going to clamp this in, I'm just going to rest it in my vise. I'm going to take a file with the key in, and we're just going to file them flat so that they're the appropriate length. And that should work. Let's pull the key out. Now, the ones that got filed the most, they're going to want to sit on top because there's a little burr. So we're going to have to force those down a couple times. Try to clean off any burr that's right on the inside of where we just barely filed. Key in, key out, key in, key out. But we should get them to, they should fall by themselves. This first one's hanging up just a little bit. So they all move up and down. We can take our tumbler set and put it right back in. And where those little crimps were, we're just going to have to push it past those again. There, back to those crimps. And I can crimp those crimps over better in a minute. But now, we're going to take our top tumbler, which is flat on both sides. It's hard to see. I know everything here is small. And, I mean, there's a slight round to it. Very slight. And we're just going to jam, and all these should be identical. And follow all those by a spring. Use something to push down the spring a little bit. Get a flathead screwdriver with a billion hands, and just stake over the top just a little bit. Just giving it a little something so it doesn't want to slide out. We can do that with all the springs. Now we can take our lock. We're done. I mean, this thing's done. We take our lock, slide it right back in, and we'll leave it unlocked for this part because this spring actually, well, you can see how much space is there, and when the lock is locked there's 1/8 of an inch. So we'll take the spring, we'll put the spring back in, we'll take our plate, we'll set that back on. Well, let's make sure we got it flat, and it's a little off. There we go. We'll just set that back on, and we'll just hammer it right over the rivet post again. At this point, now we just have to weld new heads on. You could actually probably get away with just staking it if you didn't have a welder. So it could be done without a welder because that's actually pretty secure on there. There we go, just a couple little tack welds right on the top of the post. And then we'll just take our decoration again and slide that back on. Beautiful. Looks like a lock. Key, and now we have a master lock that is keyed like all the other locks around my house. Yeah, I realize not everybody's going to have a pile of orphan derelict locks just laying around without any keys to it. But you just go buy locks. And say you want a big lock and a teeny lock or a long shank shackle lock, whatever it is. You want them to use the same key, you can do this trick to it. But the same thing applies for pretty much the same thing for house keys, are virtually identical. You can redo house keys. You can do keys on RVs. You can do the little side lock boxes are a little bit different. I actually have a video on those, like side lock boxes on motorhomes or the truck toolbox locks. I have a video on that shows the locks are just barely different, but the principles are about the same. And you can go watch that. But you can rekey them all to your key, make them your own, get good use out of them. I don't need this many locks, but it's just nice to have them every once in a while. I use ones for different projects. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. See you guys soon. Bye.
Ready?